Greetings, Weight Watchers and friends. It's love with Fit to Love Me, and I am coming to you today because I've had a revelation. I had an aha moment. For you all, it's going to probably be like a no, duh moment, right? But for me, it was an aha moment. Like I was feeling like down, basically. And yeah. And so, of course, I wanted to eat. So I came home and I wanted to eat. But it occurred to me that I finally put these things together that I tend to have like a propensity towards depression and anxiety kind of thing. But now it finally occurred to me that there's probably a link between depression and obesity. Duh. Yeah. I always thought that there was like if I found out like what's eating me, that they say that it's not what you're eating, it's what's eating you. I always thought that if I kept digging into my past or into my psyche, that I would discover what is eating me and that I would be able to lose weight once I got it. It's crazy that it's not one particular thing. I'm realizing it's a continual thing, and because continually it sends me to want to go eat food. If a person goes to food whenever they feel sad, turns to food whenever they feel sad or feel down, and that person feels sad or down often, even if I have moments of it, yeah, I can pull myself out of it or whatever, but in that moment that I was feeling that way when I came home, anytime in my past, including today, had I not been on the DietBet, I would have said F it and gotten something to eat. And to cope with that tendency, the whole entire tendency, not like something that happened to me, or not that something that I'm holding on to, although the tendency, I would say, is probably related to something like that. For me, everybody, I understand that we have chemicals, our body produces chemicals, but I also think that, I know that some scientific circles have shown that perpetual thoughts that we have, positive or negative, can create different chemicals in our bodies, which is why they tell us okay, if you're sick or whatever, that you should be laughing, like how laugh therapy and stuff like that works, because it does send different chemicals through your body. So the same thing with negative emotions. Just having this moment where I'm just realizing, okay, my whole entire attitude, the way I think about things, this idea of thinking positively and keeping my mind on positive things and seeing the positive and seeing the good in things, that might be able to positively affect my weight loss, because it seems it's finally hitting me that it's possible that my feelings of unhappiness, which tend to follow thoughts of unhappiness or unhappy thoughts, that is what drives me to eat. And that is crazy. That is such a revelation for me. I've told you all before that I am a student of the law of attraction, and just to say it in an easy way, but there's this movement that had swept across America, probably in the early 1900s, late 1800s, called the New Thought movement. And I'm sure people of different traditions call them different things, but it's within the American Christian culture, there's this New Thought movement where these Christian organizations or Christian ministers and things like that were really looking at the place where Eastern and Western religion or spirituality meets, and one place is that our there's this notion, this ancient notion, Kabbalah talks about it, these other, esoteric religions talk about this idea that our thoughts actually create our reality down to the physical reality. And I think I mentioned that before. Check out some of those films, The Secret and What the Bleep Do We Know in particular, because they talk about, and What the Bleep Do We Know, they have all these scientists on there who are saying about how words and thoughts and intentions literally can shape, can literally seem to be literally shaping, informing matter even, and our circumstances and things like that. So I've been a student of and a practitioner of this tradition, most of my adult life. And maybe that's just the key. I feel like I found the problem and I also found the solution for myself, but it's not easy. And basically, it seems like I'm saying that I need to keep my mind focused on the positive, like always. And that's like this practice. When I say I'm a practitioner, that's what the practice is supposed to be. A lot of times, like with the movie The Secret, we practice it. When we practice it, we practice doing this to manifest something in particular in our lives. But the whole idea of that practice of manifesting something particular in our lives, in order to prove to us that this thing really works, in order to demonstrate, that we have the capacity to do it. Basically, when I'm saying do it is like use our thought power to shape our existence, our reality. It's supposed to become a way of life. It's supposed to be the way of life. It's supposed to be like the point is to reprogram ourselves so that we always think that way. And there are so many people who are that way, who are just like totally optimistic and always seeing the bright side of things and are just like naturally smiling and all that kind of stuff. The question is like, what is eating me? It feels like the answer is my negative thoughts. And so like for people who take medications or do different kinds of therapy like exercise to balance out their chemicals, I don't see anything wrong with it. Like I have considered that before. There are all kinds of different therapies, and I think I would definitely like to try this idea of how my thoughts affect my moods. The idea that having a tendency toward depression and anxiety is probably why I'm overweight. It's kind of mind-boggling because I've been searching for that answer for years, and it is freaking mind-boggling that I just came up with the answer. So yeah, I'm having a moment and I'm sharing it with you.